Yeah.
In this video, we're going to be going over all Star Wars movies ranked, so let's get right into it. Alright, coming in at number 10 is Solo, a Star Wars story. This really felt like an unwanted movie. I know many people that didn't go see it just because they didn't really want that story. And they had this image of Han Solo, they were fine with it, they didn't need it. The movie itself had such a slow plot and had a lack of focus. It was pretty hard to watch. I fell asleep during it multiple times. Look at Han Solo as a character. I mean, it didn't do any permanent damage, but it just didn't seem like it was necessary to try. And the subplot with the crazy feminist robot and her freeing the droids on Kessel seemed unnecessary. With her being the flame, which is very weird, and I wish that was never a thing. Coming in 9th is Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I like the prequels more than most people I know, but I did find this movie to be quite annoying. It wasn't a very good paced movie, and the plot and sequences really just atrocious. Jar Jar Binks, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but it was a very annoying character. I don't know what they were going for. The dialogue was pretty awful in this movie. I know people complain about that with the rest of the prequels, but it's especially noticeable in this film. But finally, the reason I put this higher than Solo is the end fight scene between Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Darth Maul is stunning, and that gives it some points on my board, and I thought it was better than Solo. Coming in number 8 is Last Jedi, and this was a film I was really going into wanting to like. I looked forward to it so much after The Force Awakens. I was super excited for it, but it left so many unanswered questions, and it seems just a big middle finger to the fans by ignoring the big questions or giving them answers that made no sense at all, and they completely changed how I'll get into it in my sequel video essay, but it was a very frustrating movie. It made Luke a hopeless hermit who was done with the Force, which is completely out of character for him. The Mary Sue stuff, I know people use the term, but I mean, she's way overpowered. She's with Luke for 5 minutes, and she's already a master Jedi who can lift 5,000 rocks. Like, Luke couldn't even do that when he left Master Yoda. And the Canto Bight and Rose subplot is just such a drag. It slows the movie down so much, and that's not what this movie needed. It slows itself down with the main plot all by itself, and Rose is just a pretty awful character that was not needed to be put into the group there. Coming in at number 7 is Rogue One. I wish I could rank this movie higher. I really did enjoy it. It added a full-scale aspect to Star Wars that we don't usually get to see that often, and I did enjoy the movie a lot. The only couple things was it did seem kind of slow at times, but the story was good, and I did enjoy all the characters. They bounced off each other well, and it was a nice aspect to look at Star Wars through, and it as Solo movie, apart from the regular saga, I thought it did a good job at introducing new characters in a short movie, connecting the prequels to this original trilogy pretty well. and I wish I could rank it higher, but I just can't. And the Darth Vader sequence at the end was truly epic. I don't know how else to describe it besides epic. Alright, coming in at number 6 is Attack of the Clones. I know this movie gets a lot of hate, but I did really enjoy watching it. I liked the plot. It was quick moving, it was different, it added stuff. It showed the clones and all that. That was really cool. And I enjoyed the encounters between all the characters. I know people kind of say that the dialogue's a bit blocky. I mean, it is a bit, but I also do enjoy it. I think the love and romance of Padme and Anakin is well executed, and I find Obi-Wan and Count Dooku's encounter very interesting. I just enjoyed the movie a fair bit. I can't rank it any higher because the original trilogy and Revenge of the Sith does what this does better, and it fixes some of the problems of it. And I don't like whiny Anakin. Should be less whiny, more brutal and aggressive, but not whiny. I don't think that's a characteristic of him, and I didn't like that part of it. Alright, coming in at number 5 is Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Those of you who watched my previous video, I do have some problems with this, but I also did enjoy the movie, and I think it's not as bad as Last Jedi, and the dialogue's a lot better than most of the prequels. It's a very good film, directed by J.J. Abrams, and it does return to the original trilogy form of Star Wars, which it's nice to see. I didn't mind the prequels, but it's still very good to see this back, and I thought the movie was handled very well. It was pretty interesting to see how they did bring this franchise back, but I did not like the fact that they just defeated the Empire, and then for some reason they're back in rebellion or resistance, having to fight the Empire again. It seemed a bit redundant. It didn't seem like a original idea. It seemed very poorly executed also. But I didn't think Rey was as much of a Mary Sue in this movie as The Last Jedi, and I think that is a complaint, but it's not as big of a deal in this movie. Alright, coming in at number 4 is Revenge of the Sith. I did enjoy this movie a lot. I like to see the fall of Anakin, and really just seeing the Emperor as a younger man and seeing his plan and how he manipulated everybody, and I thought it was very interesting to see, and I enjoyed everybody in this movie. Anakin, even Obi-Wan was Ian McGregor's the Obi-Wan Kenobi for me, as he was growing up, and seeing Yoda in action versus Emperor Palpatine, which was awesome, and seeing Anakin fight Obi-Wan at Mustafar, and just seeing how he became this sad man twisted in his robotic body was something that was cool to witness. I mean, we saw it in the original trilogy, but getting to see how he became like this was very cool to see. I enjoyed this, and I know the prequels get a lot of hate, but I thought that together they aren't the worst movies, and I enjoyed getting to watch how it worked and how everything came into place for episode 4. Alright, coming in at number 3 is Star Wars Return of the Jedi. As the finale of the original trilogy, I thought this did a really good job at tying up loose ends and finding an inventive way to bring back Han Solo and bring the whole crew back together for one last time. The Emperor's Throne Room scene is iconic, but I have a slight problem with this movie. It feels completely different than the others tone-wise. I don't know, it's just weird with the Ewoks. Certain aspects of the story seem a lot worse than before. Han Solo and Leia's dynamic is completely different. I don't know, it just seems off compared to the other two, they seem more like a tight sequel. Like Empire is a tight sequel to A New Hope, and this kind of seems like the same characters. They act very similar. It's a little different. I don't know how to describe it. Might just be me, but I think the other two are better at certain aspects. Alright, and our runner-up is the original Star Wars A New Hope, Episode 4. This movie introduces you into a whole new world where there's mystical space samurais and spaceships and evil sorcerers. I know we like the Sith, the Jedi, all of that stuff, but for the time, most movies weren't like this, and it returned you to an era of like a Flash Gordon type show, like type plot and all that stuff, and it was for the time, such an accomplishment for film in general. And I know George Lucas doesn't like the original movies, but I think, or the original, like, cut of the movies, but it got such a following, and everybody liked it. It just showed how a filmmaker's vision can be truly inspiring to other people, and I find this movie amazing to watch through, and it's only overshadowed by one movie, and that movie is Empire Strikes Back, coming in at number 1. It is one of the best movies, personally for me, that I've ever seen. I mean, the beginning, it's such a well-paced story. It keeps everybody interested in it. It adds new characters like Lando, but they don't seem out of place in this world. They seem like they've always been there. And the romance between Han and Leia is perfectly written. I know I like Attack of the Clones, but blocky romance dialogue compared to this, which seems true and honest. Luke and Yoda pretending to be a silly, weird guy, and then revealing himself to be this wise Jedi Master. And the twist at the end where Darth Vader reveals that Luke's father is and I don't think many people would argue with me that this is the best Star Wars movie ever made.